B. Exclusion to the prohibition, meaning measurement. Measurement for the sake of the mitzvah. The sages did not prohibit measuring or weighing when it is needed for the sake of the performance of mitzvah. Thus, it is permitted to measure cup to determine whether it can hold sufficient amount wine on kiddush for kiddush, and to wait. Okay, so before we continue, so for example, you bought a new cup, and usually these cups are not straight, right? The different nice shape, because it should not be straight. I mean, it could be straight, but usually people buy like all of this unusual shape, beautiful shape. So guess what? So it would be it would be allowed, because if it looks to you too small, right? Too small, and you are one of the Chazanishniks. Right, Chazanish is like Zatzal. He gave us the most what is it? The strictest measures, right? It's I think it's 5.1 or 5.2 ounces, right? I think it's 5.1, so it's a lot, right? In grams, it's like what is it? It's like 150 grams. But we actually go by the measure 86 grams cc grams, the same thing. You understand? So if you go by his opinion, and this cup looks too small to you, yeah, you can measure for sure, right? Usually the cups, I mean, if you ask people in the store, that they know how big is the cup. Right, but if you did not check and now you have to do kiddush, yeah. So at least you know how much to drink, maybe, right? Or you or weighing matzah to determine the proper amount to eat on seder. So maybe I guess maybe it's a broken matzah or something. I don't know, some not standard matzah, because even if you buy machine matzah, for example, the square ones, I mean you know there is 1 pound box for sure. For sure, it's a 1 pound box, and I think there is 8 pieces, and you divide, and then you get the measurement. There is no problem, right? But if you buy also 1 pound, but this round matzah, you also can measure. Like in most of the cases, you measure only once in your lifetime, and you would know. I mean, because it says on the packages that they sell you 1 pound. They're not going to sell you 1.5 pounds, right? So that's the thing. But if person needs to wait, well, they can wait, no problem. So again, there is to weigh the matzah to the proper amount to eat for seder. I guess maybe. So I think I have a better example. Maybe the minimum amount, right? The minimum of the minimum amount, like how much this person can eat. Okay. Not the proper, but the minimum. Okay, continue. Likewise, it is permitted to measure the distance of 2,000 amos that one is permitted to walk from the outskirts of his town on Shabbos. Right. So this 2,000 amos, meaning when inside of the house, inside of the town, you can walk as much as you want. Right. Even though there is no eruv, if you're not carrying anything, there is no problem. Right, but outside of the town, only 2,000 miles. 2,000 amos, it's 0.6 miles, approximately 1 kilometer. Right. Continue. Number 2, cases of illness. Measure for the benefit of ill person is considered a mitzvah, and it is permitted. Thus, it is permitted to measure a precise dose of medicine or precise portions of food. So they give you like a measuring cup and say, take 2 tablespoons every 3 hours, let's say. That's what you must do, right? Thus, it is permitted to measure a precise dose of medicine or precise portions of food. For example, the doctor said take only this and that, but no more than that, let's say, some specific food. When a patient's condition requires this, a specialized instrument may be utilized for this purpose. Again, you're doing for mitzvah for a sick person. Similarly, although taking a person's temperature or blood measure, or blood pressure, is in form of measuring, It is permitted when it is necessary to determine whether one is ill or to determine the extent of one's illness. Right? So you don't know a person has temperature, not has temperature, so you can measure. So of course we're trying to minimize, even though we are allowed to do these things, but we always try to minimize transgression. How? For thermometer, you would have a mercury thermometer, the old style, and to measure the blood pressure, the old style, like with this thing you put in your ears and you listen on the pulse, on right. That's not the electronic one, right? So it's proper. So you allowed, yes, but if you can minimize the transgression, that's what you must do. Even when it is necessary to take a person's temperature on Shabbos, one should use ordinary mercury thermometer. Okay. The tip may be dipped in petroleum jelly. Okay, if needed. The thermometer may be shaken down before the use, but should not be shaken down afterwards. So before the use, you can shake down, because otherwise how you would know the temperature, right? As I know, maybe I'm mistaken, but I think that this mercury thermometer, it's not going to go down, right? It can go up, but never down. Okay, so you need to shake it, so in order to know what the temperature. But after you finish using, there's no point for you to shake down, right? So meaning that you changing the temperature, changing in double quotes. One should avoid using thermometer strip that is placed on the forehead and upon which the numbers become visible, right? The one they put on the forehead. Why? Because it's, in some sense, it's like you're writing the numbers. Of course, you're not right. The numbers were there, but it's in some sense. Unless no mercury, so a person should not use this thermometer strip that is placed on the forehead upon which the numbers become visible, unless no mercury thermometer is available. But we just learned now that if you don't have a mercury thermometer, the old style, go get one. Right. The digital thermometer may not be used at all on Shabbos, except of course of life-threatening situation. If a life-threatening situation, you can use whatever you need, but we must be prepared. You never know when next time you has for shalom. We should never need it, but guess what? Most likely once in so many years you would need it. Okay. An infant is regarded as an ill person, right? So always, right, until we said till some time, like until 3 years old, like it depends on the constitution, right? Of course, we're trying to minimize. Even we're allowed to do things, we're trying to minimize the transgression. One is therefore permitted to weigh, to weight and measure foods or liquids for an infant. So the formula, stuff like that. So it's a precise measurement, no problem. I mean, if you can like divide into containers before that, right, maybe it's preferable, but not strictly necessary. Right. So right, for infant we can do. One is therefore permitted to weigh and measure food or liquids for an infant, even with a specialized measuring spoon. A healthy person who is a weight reduction diet may not measure the precise portion on Sabbath. Of course, they're going to tell you, no, don't skip a day, this and that. So, okay, you can skip a day. Right? Weight reduction diet. Okay. So continue. And last subject. Number 4, issuing judicial ruling. So judicial ruling meaning the Beis Din is closed on Shabbos, and the main point is this melacha, right? Because when they pronounce the judgment, they have to write down. So I want to know exactly why the judgment was like that, right? So you have a right to request the write-up of their decision, and maybe you want to go to somebody else and show them and see what other rabbis say. There is no problem. So since they're not allowed to write down, right? So the court is closed. Okay. So we actually finish this chapter. Continue. Does the permission for ill person apply also in a case of ill person who needs to walk on a mechanical treadmill or under the prohibition is not performing any treadmill or is under the prohibition of not performing any weekday activity. Again, I would say it would preferable to just walk outside, because treadmill is always like exercise. But when you walk back and forth, nice weather, that's a different story. So, but again, does the permission for ill person to apply in case of ill person needs to walk on a mechanical tread? For example, it's for physical therapy. So, for example, if a person has a muscle spasm or something, and doctor said you have to walk every day, like 10 minutes, 15, half an hour, let's say, half an hour every day. So in this case, it's So if it's like otherwise, they had this muscle spasm problem, so you would be allowed, right? It's because of the sick person, but otherwise not, right? So, but it should they have to warn you about serious consequences if you don't do that, right? Otherwise, it's weekly activity, of course. You don't. Okay, a few minutes. Okay, so next question. We have a question about fear. Fear and its punishment. Fear and its punishment. Okay. Is in Emunai B'Tachon series, Rav Reuven Shlita mentioned how he bought emergency medicine, just in case, and got punished for using it right away as a measure for warning need to use it. Okay. I wonder should one avoid buying emergency medicine and thermometer because of this? It's a very good question. So let's say again. Question about fear and its punishment. Fear and its punishment. In the Nabi Tochan series, Rav Reuven Shlita mentioned that he bought emergency medicine. I'm not sure what's emergency. Okay, something, and just in case, and got punished for using it right away as a measure for warning need to use it. I wonder should what buy an emergency medicine thermometer because of no, it's not. Okay, so that's a very very good question. So first of all, we're not allowed to rely on miracles, right? So HaShem said that I created the world in perfect manner. So I call it nature. So you, right, to be a believer in HaShem, you have to follow the nature. And if HaShem decided to do special miracle for us, like that He would do for Avraham Avinu, so He's going to do. But otherwise, we follow the normal ways of the world. Meaning, if you have a pain or something, of course you pray, or you try to give tzedakah, try to talk to Rabbi, but Rabbi told you go to doctor and see what the doctor say. Of course, you give tzedakah, you pray, you you do everything that you have to do, but you still go to the doctor because it's a way of the world. That's what HaShem wants from us. So if it's like normal for a person to cut yourself, like not normal, like some people don't cut themselves often, to like maybe once I don't know, blue moon, but other people cut themselves maybe because the skin is more tender, something like that. Doesn't matter, from time to time. So if you know like that you need the band-aids, you have to buy band-aids. So if on Shabbos you start bleeding, what are you going to do? Right? Or forget about Shabbos, not even on Shabbos, like on Wednesday, like what are you going to do? So somebody's finger is bleeding or legs is bleeding, they're going to go to the store, like stay in line. It's not what we do. You buy whenever you need, and hopefully you say, hopefully I'm not going to use it. But if in case I might need it, so it is there. Or somebody has, so we had this doctor in the show. I mean, he moved out, but he had in a place where he sit, he had several the shots, syringes, right? Like one disposable, right? Syringes with, I don't know, for diabetes. I have no idea what, but why? Why? Just in case somebody needed it. So, meaning what? I think there is some diabetes and I don't know, whatever. Some people with heart problems. So he had medicine there. What is the problem, right? That's normal if person has this condition. So it's not a big secret that this person has a heart condition or diabetic condition. So a person should have a medicine, and it actually says in halacha, even in a case where there is no eruv, you're allowed to carry the medicine if you're afraid that you might fall in the middle of the state and you need some medicine. Sometimes we learn in Nishmat Abraham, right? It's medical halacha. So sometimes people would need a cube of sugar. That's it. That's all they need. Otherwise, they will go into the shock and coma and maybe die. You understand? So of course you cannot put it in your pocket. You cannot put this and that. But there is in a hat, behind the brim, something like that. So they would allow. Like a very unusual manner. Yes, you're allowed to carry because for you it's real life risk. It's not like maybe if somebody has no problem with diabetes and he start carrying this the shot or something just in case. That's would be calling for trouble. But otherwise, if it's known fact, there is no problem. Okay. All right, so continue. So next question. Could I have petroleum jelly is the same product as Vaseline? Yes, yeah. I mean, petroleum jelly is original name from I don't know when it was invented, 200 years ago. I don't know, long time. Vaseline is a brand name, more new one, right? Newer one. I mean, it's all old, but not as old as petroleum jelly. Yes.